Why does Arirang still matter to Korea? Arirang. For many Koreans, it is more than just a song. Long before K-pop, long before modern skyscrapers, semiconductors, and artificial intelligence, Arirang already existed inside Korean history. Even today, after decades of rapid modernization, the melody still survives. And perhaps the reason is connected to something much deeper than music itself. Today, South Korea is known around the world for technology, cinema, K-pop, AI, and massive modern cities. Seoul moves quickly. Subways continue moving beneath endless buildings and glowing digital screens. Cafes stay open late into the night. Delivery motorcycles race through narrow streets. Massive apartment towers rise across the skyline. To many outsiders, modern Korea can feel futuristic. At night, Seoul almost looks endless. Screens glow across the city. Cars continue moving long after midnight. Neon reflections spread across wet streets after the rain. And beneath all of this speed, one old melody still quietly survives. Arirang. In many ways, Korea changed faster than almost any other country in modern history. Within only a few generations, the country moved from war and poverty into one of the world's most technologically connected societies. But even as Korea changed, one old song never disappeared. Arirang is often called Korea's unofficial national song. But the truth is more complicated. Arirang is not one single song. There are hundreds of different versions across Korea. Jongseon Arirang, Miryang Arirang, Jindo Arirang, and many others. Each region developed its own melody, rhythm, pronunciation, and emotional tone. Some versions sound lonely and slow. Others sound brighter and more energetic. Some are soft and reflective. Others sound almost powerful. But despite the differences, they all carry emotions that many Koreans immediately recognize. This may be one reason why Arirang survived for so long. The exact origin of the word Arirang is still debated. No one knows its true beginning. Some researchers believe the word may have been connected to mountain paths or difficult roads. Others believe it may have come from older Korean expressions related to separation and emotional hardship. There are also theories that the sound itself survived because it carried emotional meaning beyond direct translation. And perhaps this uncertainty is part of what makes Arirang so unique. It feels older than modern definitions, older than modern Korea itself. Many versions of Arirang contain emotions of longing, separation, loneliness, sadness, endurance, and hope. The song often sounds calm, but beneath the melody, there is usually emotional weight. In some versions, people sing about leaving home. In others, they sing about crossing mountains or being separated from loved ones. Sometimes the lyrics change depending on the singer, the village, or the time period. Because of this, Arirang was never completely fixed. It evolved together with Korean society itself. And perhaps that flexibility helped it survive across generations. Some Koreans describe a feeling called han. It is a difficult emotion to translate directly into English. A mixture of sadness, endurance, longing, grief, patience, and quiet resilience. Not pure despair, not pure anger, but something more complicated, a feeling carried silently over long periods of time. Many people believe traces of that emotion exist inside Arirang. Perhaps this is why the melody often feels emotional, even to people who do not understand the lyrics. Korean history was not always peaceful. The country experienced invasion, colonization, war, division, poverty, dictatorship, industrialization, and rapid modernization. During difficult periods, many Koreans continued singing Arirang. For some people, the song became connected to identity and memory. During the Japanese occupation period, Arirang carried especially strong emotional meaning for many Koreans. Not always openly political, but emotional, a reminder of home, language, and survival. Later, after the Korean War, the country was devastated. Families were separated, cities were destroyed, millions struggled to rebuild their lives. And still, Arirang remained. Perhaps because the emotions inside the song were still recognizable. As Korea industrialized, society changed rapidly. Villages emptied as people moved into expanding cities. Factories operated day and night. Entire generations left home searching for work and opportunity. Children grew up away from grandparents. Families became separated by distance and work. And once again, themes of departure and longing continued, appearing inside Korean life. For many older Koreans, modernization came with sacrifice. Parents worked exhausting hours in factories. Some people barely saw their families while trying to survive economically. The country continued moving forward rapidly. But emotional memory often moved more slowly than economic development. Even today, older generations sometimes react emotionally when hearing Arirang. Not simply because of nostalgia, but because the song became connected to personal memory itself. Arirang also survived far beyond Korea. Korean communities living overseas continued singing it for generations. For immigrants and displaced families, the song sometimes became connected to the idea of home itself. Even people who had not visited Korea for decades often still recognized the melody immediately. In this way, Arirang became more than traditional music. It became emotional continuity. Even second and third generation Koreans living overseas sometimes recognize Arirang without fully understanding why. The melody continued traveling quietly across generations. Today, Korean culture reaches almost every part of the world. Millions of people know Korea through BTS, Korean dramas, films, beauty culture, food, gaming, and technology. Modern Korea now exports culture globally. BTS concerts fill massive stadiums around the world. Korean films win international awards. Korean technology companies shape global industries. And South Korea increasingly represents speed, modernity, and digital culture. But long before K-pop became internationally famous, Arirang already existed as one of Korea's most recognizable emotional symbols. This creates an interesting contrast. Modern Korea often feels fast, bright, connected, digital, but Arirang feels slow, quiet, emotional, human. Perhaps this contrast explains why the song still feels important. As Korea changes faster and faster, Arirang continues reminding people of something older beneath modern life. At night, modern Seoul shines with technology. Digital advertisements cover giant buildings. Artificial intelligence is becoming part of everyday conversation. The country appears to be preparing for another technological transformation. AI, robotics, automation, massive data infrastructure. Korea now stands at the center of another period of rapid change. And once again, society continues moving quickly. But even now, Arirang still survives. Perhaps because technological progress does not erase emotional memory. Cities may become brighter, technology may become faster, but human emotions do not disappear so easily. Modern cities became larger, buildings became taller, lives became busier, yet loneliness, memory, longing, and hope still remain inside people. And perhaps this is one reason old songs continue surviving. Inside modern societies, Arirang may no longer dominate everyday life the way it once did. But it never fully disappeared either. It still appears during historical events, traditional performances, international cultural programs, moments of remembrance, and sometimes simply in quiet personal memory. Perhaps Arirang survived because it was never only about music. It carried memory. It carried separation. It carried survival. It carried the emotions of people living through enormous historical change. And even inside one of the world's most modern societies, those emotions never fully disappeared. Perhaps this is why Arirang still matters to Korea today. Not because Korea stayed the same. Korea changed dramatically. The country modernized rapidly. Cities expanded endlessly. Technology transformed everyday life. And Korean culture reached the world. But somewhere beneath all those changes, certain emotions continued to remain. Longing, memory, separation, hope, and perhaps Arirang survived because it carried those emotions across time. Even today, beneath the lights of modern Seoul, beneath the speed of technology, beneath the noise of modern life, the old melody still quietly remains. Arirang.